Do you struggle with claiming your power in your relationship or your sex life? There's a practice for that.
In this practice, Yosef shows us how to have a simple way to experience power dynamics.
Whether you're in the boardroom or the bedroom, sometimes you have to be a dom, sometimes you have to be a sub, and this practice will show you how to do that.
There's a difference between power and control. A lot of men struggle with taking a healthy dominant role in their relationships and especially in their sex life. Some men tend to become controlling of their partner, and others step away and become more passive because they're afraid of their own power.
What's this practice about for you?
This practice is about exploring power dynamics, and especially in a dom-sub relationship, most people are naturally on one side or the other. So to be able to explore and feel like if you're a dom, to be able to understand more of the sub energy and vice versa is a really powerful practice.
Stepping into your power is what makes your partner feel safe. The Dom-Sub meditation practice is a solo mindfulness exercise that helps men embody the dominant and submissive archetypes, helping them have a better understanding of the responsibilities and gifts of both of these archetypes. The benefits of this practice is that it enhances self-awareness and emotional regulation. It helps to build confidence in playing with power dynamics in a safe way, and it also fosters intimacy through communication. This practice takes about 10 minutes to complete. So we're going to start by just closing your eyes. And you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it at the top. And release. Take a slower, deeper breath in with a longer hold. And release. In order to be a good dominant, it's important to first understand true submission. Even the best dominant is always in submission to something bigger than him. Call it God, the universe, a higher power. It's important to understand this submission and let that bigger power work through you. So to move into submission, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take all of your attention and you're going to move it into the triangle between your hips and your genitals. And notice what happens to the rest of your body when all the energy goes down into that area. Bringing your entire energy inside of yourself and shrinking it. Noticing the vulnerability in this state. Just start noticing the voices, the beliefs, the emotions that are coming up. Don't judge them. Don't try and change them or fix them. Just be aware of this state for a moment. Is there chatter or quiet? Just pay attention to all of it. This is the gift that you pass down to your partner when you put her in this state. Now move all of your energy and attention from the triangle between your hips and your genitals up into the triangle between your shoulders and your heart. Notice the difference in how you stand and how you hold yourself, pulling all of your energy into that dominant archetype. Notice your power. Notice your sense of self grow. It's no longer little. It grows and grows and grows beyond your physical body. It expands to fill the room. It expands to fill the field around us. You notice your power. You notice your ability to hold, to instigate, to penetrate, to elevate, to paint and experience, to create. And notice the difference between the dominant state and the submissive state inside of you. And now notice how easily you can switch from one to another just by changing your attention and where you put your energy. Bring it back down to the lower triangle. You are held by the divine. And bring it back up to the top triangle. You are the divine. Bring it back down to be in surrender to the power around you. And bring it back up to claim the power within you. And the more that you claim the dominant power, the more you ease your partner into surrender in the submissive power. And now come back to yourself outside of these two archetypes and know that you contain multitudes. Not only these two archetypes, but all the sub-archetypes included within them. And they are all a part of you. And they all deserve expression. And they all have their place. They are all beautiful. And they are all valuable. And now come back into this room and open your eyes. And this would typically be a great time to journal about your experience and what you felt.
The biggest thing I learned from this practice was how to be in control as I am moving between dominant and submissive archetypes. Before, I felt like I would kind of let the situation dictate more which way I was going. Whereas now it's easier for me, having done this practice multiple times, to make a conscious choice about which direction I'm moving in.
Yeah, it's a really easy practice to be able to experience those two energies. Like a lot of people will think to experience Dom and Sub, you have to set up like a big kinky scene. But this is something you can just really quickly and easily do by yourself and experience that. And then take it into the bedroom later on.
The provider archetype, taking care of my wife and child, is very important to me. And in this practice, I learned two new archetypes, the dominant and the submissive, and how I can bring those consciously into all areas of my life, especially the bedroom, but pretty much everywhere.
For me, sometimes when I'm getting into a dominant energy, it's more in my head. And yes, my body gets into it as well, but really focusing on coming into dominant energy and bringing that energy up into this area up here, rather than just dominance from the head. And then in the submissive, sort of like collapsing, well, I don't know if the word collapsing is right, but like just moving down into the pelvis area. I found that was a really interesting way of like feeling those energies.
The contrast between the two and the way I feel them throughout my body is striking. And it's not often, I feel like, in life that I allow myself to fall fully into submission or fully into dominance, that I do exist in that like mark archetype I've created in between. But the ability to drop all the way down and then to pull back up, I think actually expands the kind of default of who I am as a person and allows me to embody just more of myself.
Yeah, you expand into more of who you already are. And the beauty of polarity is that the degree to which you bring yourself deeper into one pole, it allows the person you're interacting with to go deeper into the complementary pole. It's a beautiful centering practice, especially if you go to the submission first, because that calls in something beyond your means to work through you, and then step into your dominant with that power at your back. And that brings you into a beautiful relationship where you've set your energy. So even if your partner doesn't do it, it harnesses that for both of you.
So is there any challenge you have in Dom-Sub dynamics?
I think it's actually harder for me to do in the context of what Yosef teaches, which is in the bedroom, because when I need to really tune into my desires, what excites me, and ask for that, I think that is hard, but that's much harder for me than being in a work situation. And I think that's one of the kind of big questions that this practice answered for me, was how I can freely and intentionally move between a dominant and submissive archetype.
In the bedroom with my partner, I'm naturally a dom, but I find it really easy to submit and to surrender as well.
To let her slap you.
Yeah.
For her previous
she likes to slap me a lot.
Yeah.